I woke up at 3 in the morning with a bad dream where one of my professors from FTI was showing my film on a mobile phone to students.
As a Bengali, I need to ask you a very controversial question.
Oh,
Gato Corre.
I can't answer this question.
Do you have a guilty pleasure list?
I have to admit it, na?
Yeah.
I watch Bollywood Wives. It's really funny.
So what is it like being inside the Criterion closet?
Oh, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it now. Inside there was like I wanted everything. But the sad part was I don't have a Blu-ray player. So I had to come back and buy one. Okay, I will tell a little secret about this film.
Okay.
It's that
Hello everyone, my name is Hindol and welcome to MUBI presents Beyond Bollywood, a brand new series on Chalchitra Talks which celebrates the very best of Indian cinema. In this episode, I spoke to the filmmaker Payal Kapadia, whose film All We Imagine as Light has not only won the love of audiences and critics worldwide, but is also winning many prestigious awards this season. Payal and I chatted about the films, books and poetry that has influenced her. We also dived into some of our favorite moments from her films. This video is brought to you by MUBI, a curated streaming service that is dedicated to elevating great cinema from all around the globe. Get a whole year of great cinema for only Rs 12.99 from mubi.io/beyondbollywood. Also, do watch out for a movie recommendation from me at the end of this episode. And now let's jump right into the conversation I had with Payal Kapadia. Hello Payal, welcome to Chalchitra Talks.
thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I'll be taking a lot of recommendations from you, film recommendations, whatever you're listening to, whatever you're reading. But before everything, I want to ask you a very specific question. It's about an experience you've had recently. So what is it like being inside the Criterion closet?
Oh, that was really fun. Charulata is a film that taught me a lot about cinema and scene construction, and it's just a really good film. I've been watching those videos. Anybody who watches films will watch that Criterion video. So for me, I mean, one never thought that one would do that.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly, I was just very excited as a cinephile and somebody who's been watching the Criterion for so long. And then to be inside there was like, I wanted everything. But you know, whatever fits in that bag you can take also. It's a bit obnoxious to take too many. But then I did the smart thing. I took a lot of box sets.
A lot of people in the comments pointed out that you went for the box sets. It's like a nice strategy.
I mean, of course, just grab as many as you can. But the sad part was I don't have a Blu-ray player. So I had to come back and buy one. Then where we watch any more DVDs. There's no way to watch. But Blu-ray is something nice. It's worth it.
I'm sure you must be knowing Rhythm House used to exist in Kalagoda, and that was a very special memory for me to go to Rhythm House, and the Criterion Closet videos were like a substitute for that. So there's another channel actually, it's called Konbini Video Club. So it's somewhere in Paris, it's a DVD store, and they invite filmmakers from all over the world. So they take a tour of the entire store and they pick whatever movies they like. So it's another recommendation if you are into
very much.
these kind of things.
Nice.
So great. So we'll start with All We Imagine as Light, which is playing in theaters as we speak. So it's a new movie in a list of Mumbai films. Like if we call that as a tradition, like it has films like Satya, it has films like Dobhi Ghat, and now All We Imagine as Light is a part of that tradition. So which are some of your favorite films where the city plays a character?
I love films where city plays character. Like you see even Mahanagar, Satyajit Ray and Pratidwandi. These are two of my favorite films of his, which are city films as well. And Pratidwandi especially, like the way Kolkata is shot, that top angle shot where everybody is they talk about the strike being on, like that's remarkable. And that's something that film really inspired me actually. Like I really love this the way he has incorporated the city in the film. Like while they're driving, they see the big buildings and they comment on it, and then they go to eat ice cream. Like there's a lot of scripting things that make the city involved with it. So I think that this is one of a very important city film from India. Then there is Katha of Sai Paranipe, which is another very, very Mumbai film. And I think people haven't seen it. It's such a delightful, funny, sometimes weird. That's another nice city film. Then there is all of lot of Saeed Mirza's films are really great. Mumbai films like Salim Langde Pe Matro, and the classic city film is Jaane Bhi Do Yaro. So and then if you look internationally also, many city films are really good. Like Edward Yang made a film called Taipei Story, which is really like the way the city is shot, the way he cuts between the scenes. You really like understand how he has used that mise-en-scene of the city well. And there is like, using the public spaces, the traffic, the public parks, all that. It's really well done in this. And neon signs, which I am also a big lover of, maybe because of cinema only. But actually we don't have neon signs so much anymore, unfortunately. It's just hoardings. Then, of course, Wong Kar-wai is a city filmmaker who I was so excited to go to Hong Kong for the first time in my life, just to go to that Chungking mansion. But when you go there, it's not that nice. So that's just kind of tells us about how filmmakers look at spaces that make them more interesting and more, that the curiosity is so much there. Otherwise, one really like, okay building. It's not that great. But there were so many people like me that day when I went. I was quite like younger that time, and I went there, and many other people were also there. They were like, where is Chungking Mansion? So it's like so nice, that this can penetrate through so many minds and go to so many places. Look, I can keep talking about city films.
Please do.
Cleo from 5 to 7 is a very wonderful Paris film. And why I like it also is because it's in real time. And it's not easy to make a film in 2 hours of 2-hour film. Like that is not something we are used to. And you never feel bored or anything while watching it. It's so fun. And she's put a lot of documentary things also in it. So it's like always keeping you alive. And then the one city film which is like not a city film it's a short film called City Maps of Istvan Szabo, and it's really it's a small little documentary. I think maybe it'll be there on YouTube or something. It's really wonderful. It's all about like rebuilding the city after a war and how communities come together, but done in a very joyous way. I don't know, I just really love this film.
In the tradition of Mumbai films, one of my most favorite depictions of Mumbai is in Basu Chatterjee's films, because you never imagine Mumbai to be a setting for a rom-com, but it's like a very...
It's a great setting for a rom-com. 27 Down is a kind of rom... It's not a com, it's a rom.
It's a rom.
So many Mumbai films are there.
Coming back to All We Imagine Is Light, one thing that I've realized in your filmmaking is that a lot of filmmakers have a special emphasis on image, but not on the sound as much. But for your films, the sound is like the most important dimension, if I can say. So, which are some of those films which really impacted you in terms of sound design?
Oh, good question. There is a film called Happy as Lazzaro, which is a film from an Italian director. Her name is Alice Rohrwacher. For me, this is the best film of this century, which is just 24 years. But for me, like it's really a really great film. And she uses, again, very normal sounds, like sounds of the rustling of the wind, sounds of the waves, sounds, just sounds that you hear anyway. But she makes them in this very internal way, which is something that I felt very inspired by. And it's really a great film. Like, if you all haven't seen it, just try and watch it. It's a brilliant, brilliant movie. It's so good. Then even Fellini, if you watch films of Fellini, he uses both sound and music, because at that time, they didn't have the possibility to do sound design the way we do it now, because it was all analog and it was complicated. So they couldn't do that in such detail. But even if you look at how he uses music and sound mixed together with very small, simple little things, it's there's a lot to learn from that. And of course, there is Tarkovsky, whose sound was the main game over there. And another filmmaker is Antonioni, because his films are kind of towards, most of his films end with a sort of expressionistic note. It goes beyond the reality of the film and into something which is more psychological. And in those parts, if you see the sound design, I mean, you can't even imagine somebody can do like this. It's so... so minutely thought about and so many different layers that really evoke rather than illustrate an idea. It just makes you feel like all those things that the character is feeling. Especially if you've seen Blow Up.
Yes.
The ending of Blow Up is mimes.
Yeah.
And then it's just sound design. It's incredible. Like, what an idea. So good.
A side note question, but you mentioned Tarkovsky, and a lot of people, when they watch a Tarkovsky film, they feel very overwhelmed. This happened to me. Like when I was in first year of college, I watched Stalker, and was a screening, and I had no idea what was happening, and it took me some time to get used to the entire proceeding. So, as someone who is getting into this space of films, what would you recommend? What should they keep in mind while watching these kind of films if they have had no exposure to such cinema?
Yeah, it's tough. Like for me also, the first time I watched Tarkovsky, I think I must have been in first year of college or something, and I didn't know anything. And honestly, I went to sleep. And that's okay, because some of the films are such that you don't immediately realize their impact on you, but after a few years, they will come back and they don't really leave you, and then you will be compelled to watch them again, and then you look at them with a very different gaze, and those are the films that keep giving. Every time as you grow older, you watch the film again and again, you gain something different from it, something more. And for me, those are the interesting films. So it's okay. I feel like sometimes if you don't get it, don't get it. But what I do feel is that there's no need to over-analyze, because I don't think filmmakers actually, think so much in detail. People do things out of instinct also. Of course, it's good to see certain things, but I feel sometimes people get into the trap of understanding too much. While you should sometimes, if you're thinking, "Arey, mere ko samajh mein nahi aa raha," then just experience it, Like seeing a beautiful mountain or on the ocean. We don't say we want to understand it. You just look at it.
So what are some of the films which you said you kind of rediscovered?
Negida Ka Tara is one film that I watched when I was in college, and I was like, I just don't understand what is this style of filmmaking. And later on, and I went to FTI and I was watching more Ghotok films, and I realized that he's just one of the most incredible directors we've had in India, and his work and just the way he frames the face, the eyes, the landscape of Nita and Megita Ka Tara, I mean, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it now. And then after that, I just went down the road of all of Ghotok's film to watch Titas, to watch Subarna Rekha, and I feel like after that first time that I watched Megita Ka Tara, I was like, I can't watch this. But then after when I revisited Ghotok, and I really began to just be absolutely how marvelous some of those script structures are. Like, look at a film like Titash. The main character dies in the middle of the film and is gone.
Spoiler alert.
Like, it's amazing how you can script this. And just the way he takes the shots, the wide angle lensing, the kind of using the landscape as a theatre space. I was used to think that it's too melodramatic and what is this, and but when I watched it as somebody who had been watching a few films, and I analyzed it again, and I looked at it, and not analyzed, but just sort of watched the film only, and it's just, those films are just, I think everybody should watch Ghotok. We live in the country of Ghotok, and if you haven't seen, then that's just a pity.
Nice. As a Bengali, I need to ask you a very controversial question. Ghatok or Ray?
I can't answer this question because there are many Ray films that I also like a lot, like the Pratidwandi, like Aurane Din Ratri. All these films are, for me, really important films. You cannot dismiss like that at all. So this binary, we should not divide the world in.
It's a very stupid argument as well, but just for the sake of views.
Okay, let's say it like this. There are all Ghatak films I like. There are some Ray films I love. But then again, Ghotok didn't make that many films also, as many as Ray. Ray made so many more films. So it's, but we should watch both.
Yes. So, also another thing I liked in All We Imagine As Light is the depiction of boredom. And now this is something I find very interesting, because how do you make boredom interesting on screen? And this is particularly in the introduction of Nurse Anu, where she has the whole conversation about vasectomy and contraception, and there's a small montage where she's just there and she's enjoying herself in the fan and in the summer heat. So I want to just ask you about, what do you feel about boredom as an emotion on screen? How do you make it interesting?
Yeah, I think I like very much that time is a very subjective thing. And when something exciting is happening in our life, time passes very quickly. And when you are waiting for something to happen, it's not happening, time feels very slow. And that subjectivity of time is something that I think is very usual part of human nature. So that's why I wanted to kind of have these two feelings of time. One where Anu is like waiting for Shiaz to meet him in the evening. मतलब अभी क्लास छूटे अभी मैं जाऊँ मतलब कितनी बार हुआ है ना फिर लगता है 1 घंटा पास हो गया then you look at the watch and it's still just 2 minutes are passed. So that feeling, and then when you are with the person you wanted to be with, or you are doing something fun on your own or whatever it is, that time it goes really quickly and you're like अरे अभी वापस घर जाना है. So it's not like that is the thing of boredom that I wanted to play with, that there is this time, the anticipation and then the time itself, and how we as human beings are always negotiating that, and time is so subjective, and in cinema you can expand and contract time. So those things I love to, it's like one extra tool to your making.
So if I had to ask you that among all the films that you've seen, if you had to pick few films that kind of define who Payal is as a person. So which films would those be? Like films which have kind of shaped you very profoundly.
See, that's the thing. It's just that I feel like I am such a cinephile and I've been watching cinema dedicatedly for so long. It really depends. There's a lot of subjectivity to that answer, because it's like right now, if I'm making a city film, I get attracted more and more to watching films that have that city feeling, that mise-en-scene. If I am making a film that is like, if I'm thinking about a film which is based in some other mode, then I will start getting obsessed with those films. So it's for me, cinema is also my academics. I'm a huge cine nerd. So I'd like to answer this question with saying that right now, what are the films that I find, so I love films that are a little, like have a sense of humor and a little lightness, even if they're dealing with heavier subjects. Like I love the films of Aki Kaurismäki, because I feel that he talks about a lot of things, but does it with this weird sense of humor. So, for example, Fallen Leaves is a recent movie, then all his films, Drifting Clouds. Then there's one old film of his called Take Care of Your Scarf, Tatiana, which is a black and white film. It's really funny. And then he made this I think a couple of films called Leningrad Cowboys, which is really funny stuff, like, and Calamari Reunion, where all the characters are the same name. So I like this kind of tongue-in-cheek humor, which is also kind of bringing his political points and about the social reality of his country to the forefront, but not in a heavy-handed sort of way. So this is the kind of cinema that I really enjoy. Even like I like also as a director very much Agnes Varda, because every film she's trying something, a different style, different way of telling. Sometimes voiceover, sometimes just a very proper framed fiction film. So that also, I like that energy of constantly trying things. So because sometimes I feel that, in the directors, you can get stuck in a set of idea, like I'll only make films like this and I won't do anything else. But she was not like that. She was always like reinventing herself, and even at her late age, she made such incredible work. Then who else? That's quite a lot, no? 2 directors, you want more. Alice Rovaker is a director who I'm obsessed with. Like, her films are really great. The Marvels, Corpo Celeste, her 2 early films, which are about main protagonists are young adults and children. It's a really, really good films. Then Happy as Lazaro I mentioned, and recently she made a movie called La Chimera, which is about the past of Italy, and I find that there is some connection to our realities too with that film. So it's really a film that is remarkable. Like, even if you're a cinephile, just watch the scene constructions. How she's constructing that scene is like this is genius. And taking from that, Fellini is another director whose films I watch all the time for learning purposes. It's like a text that you can keep going back to, like पढ़ाई करते हैं ना, तो वो उनकी फिल्म देख के मैं बहुत पढ़ाई करती हूँ कि क्यों इतना एक ट्रैक शॉट है इतना, Like, itna track shot kaun dalta hai? But then you analyze the shot and you're like, okay, this is giving me something a lot, that just a little track shot. And then he will on shot change lighting, on shot do this, because he's trying to go into the psychological world of the characters. So that is very difficult to do without it, feeling a little gimmicky. But if somebody does it right, it's Fellini. Then in India also there are so many, like Rima Das's films I really like. I didn't see the latest one, but the first two films I thought they were really, they're just beautiful films and I really love them a lot. Then John Abraham's films are, the director John Abraham's Vidyarthi Kale Itale is a great film. It's so funny also, and he uses all these, he also tries a lot of cinematic fun things, especially with sound in Ammar. And if you listen to the sound, it's a great sound design. The way he has used the drumming and all this thing, it's very, very interesting. It's again a must-see kind of textbook cinema. Then recently I really like Paranjit's films also. I didn't see the last one, but the two before, and his first film Atakatti I really like. It's so good, it's really funny, and there's so many nice things to take from it, to just enjoy.
So, which is a genre that you really like in movies?
Comedy. Yeah. Oh, I should have mentioned Milos Forman. I love Milos Forman.
Nice. I read a quote from Milos Forman that his English wasn't that great, so anyone would ask him any question that ये scene क्यों है, ये plot में ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, and he just had one patent answer, which was so what. So anything you ask him, he would just say so what. So I really appreciate that.
I love his work so much, especially his early films like Loves of a Blonde and Fireman's Ball. These two films are again, films that you can keep going back to. And in fact, in my Criterion epics, I picked Loves of a Blonde as my favorite.
Yes. So these are also your comfort films, or do you have a separate list for those?
This is just...
Yeah, this is
Milos Forman, this is really fun to watch.
Yeah. Okay, so let me put it this way. Do you have a guilty pleasure list?
I watch for time pass.
Yeah, movies.
I have to admit it, no?
Yeah.
I watched Bollywood Wives. It's really funny. I enjoyed it. It was a good, just a different world.
So is this a genre that you keep revisiting, or it was a one-off fling?
No, I just see whatever sometimes on whatever is trending on this TV shows I watch. Something where I don't have to
Passive viewing.
Kind of, where I can just watch it and laugh and feel just a glimpse into something.
But okay, on the topic of TV shows, what are some shows that you've liked?
Actually, I have a big problem. I cannot watch a show where I have to watch a backup.
Okay.
So I stick to watching only sitcoms that I rewatch again and again. So Office and BoJack Horseman, things like this. Yeah. So because I feel if I have to watch the next episode, I have an addictive personality. So I cannot not watch the rest. And if I spiral down that road, then I won't do any work. So I try to avoid watching something. But there are nice shows being made in India now. So many interesting things are coming up. I watched Made in Heaven. I really liked it when I saw it then.
Would you consider making a long form series?
Who doesn't want to make long form? If you are telling me to make a 2-hour film, I'm thinking, I need more time. If you're letting me make 8 hours, so I will have a party.
Nice. So, since you've also kind of dabbled in the documentary space, I wanted to know, what are some of your favorite documentaries?
All That Breathes.
Yes.
I really like this film. It's a great film. Everybody should watch it. In India right now, there are so many people making good documentaries. I haven't seen all, but this Nocturne is there. It's come out recently, and it just looks, I haven't seen it, but the trailer was so captivating, so lovely to see. Then there is, in non-fiction, there is Yashu's film, which I like a lot, which is The Cloud Never Left. It was in Mami a few years ago. It's a really great, wonderful film. I like Chantal Ackerman's News from Home. It's a really, it's a film that I watched because I watched it in the beginning as a non-fiction film, and because what she does is she shoots New York and then she puts the voiceover, which is letters between herself and her mother in Belgium. And that is the thing. But when you watch it with that, you feel like everybody in the city is longing for something. And that that kind of montage of sound and image, it really taught me a lot, and I try to do it with my work as well. And one classic documentary which I think any cinephile should watch is Sans Soleil of Chris Marker, another masterpiece. Because it's also a voiceover film. It's a film which is kind of an archival found footage film. Okay, I will tell a little secret about this film.
Okay.
It's that he is credited many people as doing different things, like the cameraman, the sound person, everybody is credited at the back. None of them exist. It's all him. Which really blew my mind, because I was like, oh, documentary, you have to be very truthful and all. But he's just like, no, I'll do whatever. So this film is an essay film. I really like essay documentaries. I think that they're a really wonderful way to look at the world. Like even Adam Curtis's documentaries they're all available on YouTube or any of these channels. You can easily find Adam Curtis, great films. Then there's a tiny little film which I would recommend all cinephiles to watch. It's a very, very small film. It's called Portrait of Ga. It's maybe 3 minutes. It's a lovely little documentary, a character study of, it's just really tells you that you can do, with very little you can evoke a great deal.
So what are some of your favorite short films?
Portrait of Ga. Then favorite short films, After School Knife Fight is a short film by Jonathan Winnell and Caroline Poggi, which is a really lovely short film. I love Ashmita Guha's short film, Cat Dog. It's a great film. Open Cafe of Naveen Padmanabhan is a wonderful film. You all can watch it on YouTube. It's available. Then another great short film. All of the films that Kiarostami made, which is this One Problem, Many Solutions, and there is that grandfather film where this girl goes and keeps shouting. When he's not listening, then all the friends come and start shouting. That's a really great film. There is a film of Miguel Gomes, which I really like, which is a kind of a documentary, but I don't really know what it is. It is called Redemption.
Redemption.
Yeah, it's a 27-minute short film. And it is a bunch of letters written by famous politicians and people in power to somebody they love. Now, I don't know if these are real or fake. I don't know if this is not even their real voice, and he's used archival footage to make these films. So it's like Sarkozy is there, then the Angela Merkel. So these like famous heads of countries' voices are there, as if they're writing personal letters to people they love. But I don't know who's written them, and it just works. It's just a great film. I said quite a few.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
This is a good place to start.
Okay.
So now we're going to do a fun segment.
Okay.
It's called the Cinema Paradiso Quiz with MUBI. So I'm going to show you a couple of frames, and these are frames from films which you have either recommended somewhere or you have some kind of connection with these films.
Oh God.
So
Tricky.
you have to identify which film or which filmmaker this is. So
now if it's going to be some like obscure frame from the film, how I will guess?
I'll give you hints.
Okay.
This is the first frame.
This is Chungking Express.
Yes. Oh yeah, you also get points. So
Alright.
yeah, so you get 20 points for Chunking Express. And oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. So if you get all the answers correctly, you win a hamper from MUBI.
All?
Yes. We would give it to you anyway, but like if you answer all of them correctly, like the victory is much more sweeter.
I'm very competitive.
Here you go.
Oh my God.
You can guess as many times, so like.
Okay, this is... This is a Bengali film.
Okay.
Is it? Yes or no? Hot or cold?
Hot.
Which Bengali film it is, I don't know.
It's the closing image of a very important film.
Closing image of a very important... Pratidwandi. It's... is it?
Same
area.
Yeah.
Mahanagar.
Yes, this is Mahanagar.
Okay, great. I haven't seen Mahanagar in a while. This looks like Agnes Varda.
Okay, do you want to take a guess?
It's the one with JR. Is it not?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, the Faces, Places.
Yeah, this is Varda by Agnes.
Oh, Varda
but
by Agnes.
You can watch it on MUBI.
Watch what? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. I'm not advertising.
Okay, yeah, this is a fun frame.
Oh my god.
You can identify the filmmaker also, that would also work.
Okay, just by the font, it's not Godard. Oh, it's an Indian film.
Yeah, it's an Indian film.
Oh shit, that title sequence you can't give, yeah? Cheating.
It's a part of the film.
Okay, give some other clue. Is it a female or a male filmmaker?
It's evident in the frame.
It's a female filmmaker. This is Sai Paranipe.
Yeah, this is Sai Paranjpe. This is from Chashme Baddoor.
Chashme Baddoor, yes.
So it's the hand of a man, and her hands pop in, and she moves away the hands, and then she does the director frame. And then it's just directed by Sai Paranjpe.
But I really don't remember this. But okay. That you gave me too many clues for that. This is Kramasha.
Yeah, Kramasha by Amit Datta. Great short film.
Great short film. That's a great short film, yes. This is Bhoot Rawai.
Yes, this is Bhoot Rawai by Claire Denis, which you can also watch on MUBI. Then let's see.
Cheating, yeah, this is tough. This is looking, I don't know, give some clue, some documentary filmmaker.
Yeah, filmmaker with like some kind of documentary interests. Asian filmmaker.
This is Money Call.
No, Asian, matlab. Same continent. But
Same continent, okay. Asian filmmaker who's put a tape recorder.
It's an important
Central Asia side or East side?
East.
Oh, this is Apichatpam.
Yes, this is Mysterious Object at Noon. Then
Can you watch it on MUBI?
Not yet.
Can we request MUBI to put it up?
We can definitely request MUBI to put it up.
It's a great documentary film.
Yeah.
Another great recommendation.
This should be an easy one.
This is my film.
Yes, this is Afternoon Clouds. This is my recommendation to everyone. Please watch.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Another recurring device theme in your film, cats. All your films have some kind of cats.
I think filmmakers like cats. All films have cats.
All films should have cats.
Yes. Maybe this could be a new... Oh, this is Mystery Train.
No.
It's another great film, Mystery Train. Oh, wait. Oh, this is Calamari Reunion. No, this is Aki Kirosmaki.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Leningrad Cowboys Go to America.
Yes,
like
Leningrad Cowboys Go to America, which you can also watch on MUBI.
Oh, it's a great film. It's so funny. Yeah, it must be watched. I think Jim Jarmusch makes a special appearance in this movie. It's really funny.
And now this is the final frame of the quiz.
So many staircases can't be Indian. Is it?
We have spoken about this film today.
Today. Is it today? Yeah. Oh my God. What is it? Don't tell me. I want to win my hamper. It's Ray. Is it?
May not be Ray.
Is it Ghotok?
Yes.
Which Ghotok? Megida ka Tara?
Yes, this is Megida.
This is such a non-Megida ka Tara frame.
Which is why I've kept it.
This is cheating.
But you guessed it and you got
all... You helped me a lot. Yeah. That's not fair.
But that is how this game works. But yeah, you finally won the MUBI hamper. Can we have the hamper, please?
Wow.
The MUBI hamper and...
Thank you. Don't make me do quizzes. I'm damn competitive. I'm like, I want it. Wow, what is inside?
There is a notebook.
There is cool. A bottle. A MUBI bottle. That's so nice.
And there are some clip-on badges.
Oh, wow. What a lovely book. Yeah. Oh, this is really nice. I'm happy to have won this hamper. It was worth it.
You seem like a person who would be into stationery. Are you into...
Yes. I am very much into stationery. I have so many old diaries that I've written over so much time which I don't have the heart to throw away, and now they become moldy and stinky.
Yes. How long have you been writing journaling or diary entering?
Since when I was a child. I studied in boarding school. So there you feel sad a bit. So you write in a diary.
So you must be having a lot of archive, right? Since your childhood.
I do.
So that's great material for filmmaking, because the thing is, I've realized this now, that since I've not archived anything in my life, I have to really go back and pull out things ki, okay, ye bhi hua tha. But now I've kind of realized that you should maintain a diary or a journal of some kind.
I don't think there's much in my journals from that time to use in films, because I was a really angsty teenager. But it's just good to see how you've changed as a person. And I think that is always important for a filmmaker to think about.
Do you journal every day?
Not every day, but I write as much as... like when I'm writing for a film, I try to write every morning for at least 3 hours, because for me that's the most productive time.
Right.
And I actually really enjoy it. It gives me... because that time you're not worried about production, you're not worried like paisa aayega ki nahi aayega. You're just writing. You're like, okay, fine. If I want to do this, I'll just do it. Nobody's sitting on my head telling you that it's so expensive or iska permission nahi milega. So there's some freedom in that.
So do you write poetry as well? Because there is a lot of poetry, like literature poetry, which comes into your films.
Actually, not really. I write more prose. I write more essays also, like kind of just thoughts in a flow, like a journal, not journalistic. So that form of writing I enjoy very much, which might have a poetic overall structure, but yeah, I like also to read a lot of short stories and things like this. But yeah, for me this prose writing comes more naturally.
Any like short story writers or collections that you would like to recommend?
I would certainly recommend is Kawabata's Palm of Hand Stories, which was introduced to me by my professor when I was in FTI, Anirban Dotto, and he told us to write one script based on this one-page story. So I was thinking like 1 page I have to write, that'd be easy. But when you get into it, it's really like it becomes pages and pages and pages, because what is the amazing thing about Kawabata is that he will have just 3 paragraphs and you'll be, what a simple story, what is there? But actually there is so much depth in just those 3 paragraphs. So many lives lived, so many moments that are encompassed in one moment. And that for me is the precision of writing, and perhaps the precision of cinema as well.
Right.
And it's only a palm of hand. That's lovely, no?
Nice. Any poetry that you would like to recommend? Because the poetry of Rilke keeps featuring in your...
yeah, then Farooq Farooqzad is an Iranian poet whose work I absolutely love. She, in fact, when I started my own company, I called it by her poem's name.
Ooh.
It's called Another Birth, and it's her poem that she wrote, and all her poetry is available on her website. She passed away many years ago at a very young age of 30 or 32 or something like this, but they have archived all her poetry and they've got a very good translation to English. So please, if your audiences are interested, Farooqzad is an amazing poet. I just love the way she wrote. She made one film also. I think it's called The House is Black. It was a kind of a documentary film. But her poetry work is something that really inspires me a lot. Rilke, of course. Then not really poetry, but I really like Vinod Kumar Shukla as a writer. His work is very poetic. I think he's one of our greatest writers. Recently, I've not been reading only. I've become very useless. Where's the time? I'm just doing interviews, you see. Look at my face.
So do you often get like reading blocks, or is it like once in a while?
No, I think, I don't know, these past few months have become very... I'm not engaging my mind in the right way, and I'm feeling a bit like it's also because, when you're going around showing the film, you're in a very different kind of state of mind, and I'm not used to this actually, promoting a film and talking about it in this way. I never had this in my life before. So I think I'm just trying to like understand how to do all of it and still sort of continue on my other work also. And right now I'm still finding that balance, which is why I'm always a bit frustrated these days. Like I want to do work, I want to do other things, but I also think it's important to promote the film, and otherwise you'll just get lost. So I'm conflicted.
So what is your relationship with music?
I just listen to everything. So I just go to Spotify, then I'll just go like in a tumbling.
So you like trust the algorithm that whatever it gives you?
Whatever I listen, like I really like Japanese jazz, Japanese experimental jazz. They've got an amazing work from the 80s, which is just really great to hear. Ethiopian jazz, I love so much. I used it in the film also. Like that, I actually just listen to a lot of different countries' musics, a lot of instruments, and just see where that loopy algorithm takes me. I gain a lot from that, and I save whatever I like. And sometimes even when I'm traveling in a taxi, if some song is playing, I Shazam it, and then I save that. Because you never know, like our minds are so limited, our purviews are so limited, and the world has so many things. We'll never be able to see it all, hear it all. So whatever you get, you should. I feel like I want to.
It's like a bank. Yeah. Someday, some film you will use it.
Yeah, or someday, some mood you'll need it. You know, everything is not for the film, but just for that's the mood I was in, and I remember this song, or I remember this particular thing. So that's how I found the films, the sounds of Emma Hoysege, Mariam Geru, whose music I've used in my film. And it was because my editor was like listening to it, and he said, oh, you know, maybe you will like this also. And then we started listening, and we just sat all day and listened to all her music, and it was so nice.
So in Japanese jazz, there's this artist I discovered, and we have a music club on WhatsApp, Chalchitra Music Club, where people keep recommending like things they're listening to. And there's this pianist, I don't know if you've heard him, he's called Ryo Fukui. So he's a Japanese jazz pianist, and it saved my lockdown, because that's all I was listening to, and it was a great rabbit hole to go into. I think you should give it a try.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you have any favorite background scores like from films or shows?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the way certain people use music in film. Like, I find the way Claire Denis uses music in film. She uses like really popular songs, but in a way that you could have never thought it could be used, with like a lot of pathos.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the idea of using songs that all of us know, but in a way that is completely, not expected.
Right.
And she does that really well with all the music in her films, especially in Bhutravai, the ending song. It's incredible. If people are interested in this, just the ending clip of Bhutravai is online. Just watch it and dance. Basically, I really like films that use already existing songs in an interesting way that has not been used before. That makes you also think about that same music in a different way.
Yeah.
That really excites me. Like, that's why Wong Kar-wai I like so much, because he uses like such popular songs, but now that song for me is only associated with that movie.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And I mean, of course, in India, songs are very much part of our language of cinema. And for me, like, we used to do this playback exercise also at FTI, where we had to, plan the shots and have that is a great skill. Like, if you see Guru Dutt's playbacks, like Mr. and Mrs. 55 ka opening sequence, it's incredible. Like, just this, and that time also they didn't have monitors and all. They were just shooting it. Like, wow. It's really something.
Yeah. And you have a very good dance sequence in All We Imagine As Light. So, which is, I've kind of seen like on reels and stuff, like people are really liking it. So, was it like a part of the script, or it just like the actors went with it?
No, actually, initially it was not part of the script, but then we shot the film in 2 schedules. So the first schedule was in the monsoon, and then we took a break. So now what happened was that in the break I got some time to rework the script. Cheating at it. So, but what I realized was that the relationship between Kani, Divya and Chaya was like very, like there was a spark there, and they were really like, firstly, they're really great actors. Like, I can watch them all the time. And I was like, let's try a scene. What would happen if they came back to Parvati's house and they just want to relax? What would they do? So then I wrote a scene like this, and then I gave it to them, and they only improvised it. And actually, it was a much longer scene, but unfortunately, we had to keep only this much. And then it was actually Chayaji who came up with the song from Caravan, because I was telling her that Parvati's state of mind is that she's feeling like, okay, I came back, but how am I going to manage in this place? Because it's not easy to go live in your village. There's so many problems there. So she took an impulsive decision, but how is she feeling now? So she said that, wow, you listen to this Caravan song. And I was like, okay. And then it's that Asha Parekh song, and it's very funny, the dance sequence, where she's like, what the hell am I doing? Main yahan kahan aa gayi, So it's like this, that feeling, it resonated, I felt, with Parvati's character without being heavy-handed. Because, I mean, I didn't want to be like this film where it's like, oh, so sad, and the world is... I mean, of course it's sad, of course, but in that we find joy also. So I felt that the song went really well, and she actually came up with it. And which is the same song we played on the red carpet in Cannes.
Oh, nice.
Because all of us were like, where the hell have we landed up? Ye kahan aa gaye? Yeah.
Nice. So, since you've not been reading, are there any YouTube channels or Instagram handles that you've been looking up?
I
or
listen
would
a
like
lot to
recommend?
Anurag Minus Verma's podcasts.
Your episode on Anurag Minus Verma is very good.
Oh, thank you.
It helped me a lot with my research. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's so nice to hear. I really like all like the interviews he does, and it's nice always to listen because there's such a range of people who come on the show. It's sometimes it's film also, sometimes not, other writers and people who write really well on the internet also. I really like his podcasts, and even his YouTube channel is really, he's making these little films now which I like a lot. They're really fun, and he manages to kind of see some details of life which are like, I think that is the kind of the future also. I feel that all of us want this film and everything, but even with Instagram, just kind of documenting life, documenting in your stories, how you make the story is a film only, like what was Jonas Mikas doing? He was documenting his daily life. We are all documenting our daily life. So if you are into filmmaking, then you should be able to make a montage there as well and see where that leads you. That is very good practice.
Yeah. So, this is a slightly like philosophical question. However you want to like answer it. Do you dream often?
I dream a lot. I'm all the time dreaming.
And do you like have specific memories of your dream, like images that you see in your dreams?
Today only I was dreaming. Last night, because I woke up at 3 in the morning with a bad dream where one of my professors from FTI was showing my film on a mobile phone to students. Of course, that never happened and it would not. But still, I was like, why you are doing this? Showing it on the mobile phone. So you see, that's the kind of nightmares I have. Then another one, the aspect ratio has become vertical while watching the film and people are complaining.
There is a vertical cinema film festival now. Like people are making films in the vertical
That's
format.
so nice.
So apparently there's some church in Norway which they convert into like the venue.
Oh,
so it's like a vertical screen and you have like feature length films in the vertical format. So I think like that's the future, I guess.
But that should be planned like that, na? Your film shouldn't get cropped. Because in our film also, not everybody is used to the 1:166 aspect ratio I went with, which is a wider aspect ratio, but flat, not scope. And unfortunately, our cinemas are very used to scope. So they're getting cut from the top and bottom. So that is something that I've been having nightmares about. But I have sometimes very literal dreams like this. Like, oh, aspect ratio is vertical. Like, this is a very literal dream.
But have you like found any material for your films in your dreams?
Not me, but when people tell me their dreams, I find that I can be a tourist in the dream.
I would love that if people could like record their dreams and just like, I think that would make for good, I don't know if interesting cinema, because I don't know if people have interesting dreams or not, but it would make for like an interesting.
I think a lot of anxieties can come out in dreams, and those anxieties we don't always articulate well or don't even know we have. And so it helps me in writing scripts to talk about certain anxieties without the character themselves realizing what the anxiety is, but the audience knowing what it is. And that is a device in film that I like to use quite a bit.
So your film, as we discussed in the beginning as well, that it's kind of about your relationship with Mumbai. So do you have any special places in Mumbai that mean a lot to you?
Trains.
A
lot of ladies' compartment is for me the most cinematic part of Mumbai. Horrible also, many days.
The fights are really...
I mean, it's really hard to be able to get in, and by mistake, if you get in the wrong train and you want to get off at the wrong place, you're in trouble. But the ladies' compartment for me is where if I go, especially when it's not crowded, then it's a very cinematic space. I really like to people watch, and even the entire premise of a train, if it is passing by, and there is a cinematic quality to that, like it's like frames or it's like a long track shot. And I feel in a city like Mumbai, that kind of track across the city really gives you an idea of this of the kind of spaces each area is. If you're going from Lower Parel, Dadar, you see the kind of buildings they are, coming to the Mahim and then the creek, and then to Bandra, and you're coming to those red houses with the blue chapras, and then it goes and goes, and you really get a sense of what is this city, what is the architectural and socio-political setup of this city you get with that one track shot. And for me, that is tells you a lot about the place we live in.
Right. And last question, what does nostalgia mean as an emotion to you?
It's in my film.
Which is why I'm asking.
Nostalgia reminds you of something good, but memory is always about forgetting. I'm quoting myself, but no, that's what it means to me, really. That's why I'm saying it, that when you think about nostalgia, you always think that you have a fondness for a memory or your fondness for something from the past. And that's always something that is nice and warm. And but it's also very dangerous to want to go back to that. And one in nostalgia should always think of it as the past and not something you want to go back to. Because that can be dangerous also.
So yeah, these were my questions. Is there anything that I haven't asked that you would like to talk about?
I want to go back to my book question.
Yes.
What was the question?
Anything that you are reading currently or anything that you'd like to recommend? That
I would really like to recommend the work of John Berger. He wrote a book called Our Faces, My Heart, as Brief as Photographs, which is a book that is separated into time and space, which is cinema. I recommend this book highly because it again mixes fiction and non-fiction also. There are elements of daily life, but also his reflections on a photograph, his reflections on a lot of different things. And he's a really great writer. And you can read that book from anywhere and read it at any time. And it always gives something. So any cinema student, this book is a great one to look at and read and keep as your forever book.
He also has an essay called The Ways of Seeing, which I really like. So our professor in college showed it to us, and it was very dimag phatne wala experience.
Yes, it's a must-read book. And he has written a lot, on many different subjects, on photography, on different things, and he writes really in a way that is quite simple also, and you can, he's saying very dense things, but in a very simple way. So it's quite accessible to read like that. And I love Milan Kundera also. I think Milan Kundera was supposed to be a filmmaker and then he became a writer, which is why his books are very cinematic.
Thank you so much for doing this. So before we end, what we ask the guests normally is that if people have watched the conversation till here, they have to use a hashtag in the comments to mark their attendance कि हमने यहाँ तक देखा है. So you have to give one word to the audience and they will comment that in the comments.
Light.
So light hashtag use कीजिए comments में. And thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Before we wrap, we have a small gift for you.
Oh yeah, one more.
There are a lot of gifts.
Yeah. Okay, now you're making my day even better. Wow, what a beautiful bag.
So this is our Chalchitra merchandise.
Oh, wow, this is really well designed.
So this is our merchandise.
Wow, so many things are there.
And this is a coffee hamper from our brewing partners, Blue Tokai.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great. I love coffee. So you've given me some wonderful things today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So if you have watched the episode till here, use the hashtag light in comments, and this series would not have been possible without MUBI, which is a curated streaming service where each and every title is hand selected by its team of curators. Much like Payal's film All We Imagine as Light, my film recommendation for this week also shows a very unique side of Mumbai which you might not have seen before. My recommendation is a documentary film called Against the Tide by Sarvanik Kaur, which explores the lives of the Koli community in Mumbai that has been fishing in the sea for many generations. However, the community now faces its biggest challenge in the form of climate change. Do not miss this brilliant and timely film now streaming on MUBI. You can try one whole year of MUBI for only rupees 12.99 from mubi.io/Beyond Bollywood. That's one whole year of great cinema for only rupees 12.99. So do share your favorite parts from the episode with me in comments, and I'll see you very soon with another episode of MUBI Presents Beyond Bollywood.